Daddy, who is in my Ventura? My Ventura.
I said, I don't want to hear anything. Don't. Good evening, everyone. I hope your day was fine. We're going to we'll start right away. I apologize for starting the class late.
All right, good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening, my brother. I apologize for starting the class late. I apologize. So we want to have the what's it called now? Assignments. Let's quickly review them, and so that we can go to the business of the day. And I hope that most of us have been able to read what we wrote, if we read what we wrote. Now, this is one of the building blocks of the work, and I beg of you to really, 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 really pay attention, read these things, commit them to memory, and then, because these things are going to be useful, they are the building blocks for your work going forward, regardless of whether it is reading, it is writing, it is speaking, or listening. Some of these things, all these things, they usually come out in the aspect of the work they are going to be doing in all sections. So that's that's why we need to really, really pay attention to these things and commit them to memory. I'm going to be expecting that you make use of them while you're working, while you're writing, speaking, and you should also make use of them or identify them in your listening and in your reading. It is a very huge importance that you are able to use them freely without having to think too much while you are doing that. You shouldn't have to think too much while you are doing your work, such that it will be easy for you to be able to do any of this. All right. So now before we go to it, can we ask? I want to ask anybody: do you have any problem? Doing the assignment? What were the problems you had, especially probably with those people who probably had issues with using the usage of CAM scanner? So, do you have any issues getting these assignment done? Please let me know so that I'll know how best to offer assistance. Yes, Mr. Joseph, can we have your response?
Okay, so the only issue I had was the time.
Okay. The time.
I couldn't meet up. That's the 6 p.m. because of work, and then I'm a nursing mother. I have a baby.
Okay. Is that Miss?
But I know that shouldn't be an excuse.
That's Miss Perez.
Yes, Mrs. Perez.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So I'm meeting up with time of submission of the assignment is the only issue I have.
Okay. That's taken. Yes. Abiola, can we have you speak?
The only challenge I have is
I can hear you.
So the only challenge I had is that I can't send the assignment through CAM scanner. I don't know how to be about it. I tried all the effort of avail. Then although the time limit is just something else for me, because before I got back from work was around 4. So I had to start rushing. I didn't even take, let me quickly do the assignment and all that. And at the end of it, I was unable to send it to you.
Okay.
Then one thing that I faced when I was doing the assignment was that I could not really make long sentence for the assignment. I just made like 3 and like a short sentence. And then in the sentence, when I finished, I noticed myself that I had this thing. I had 2, the passive voice. I had 2 in the sentence. I don't know, maybe that would be a problem along the line if to answer a question or something. So that's the only challenge I had or I faced when I was doing the assignment.
Okay. All right. Ruth, can we get your response, Ruth?
The problem is mostly time. Because the nature of our work, before you come back, you start doing this and that. It's only time is the problem.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mr. Joseph, can we take your listing now?
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, mine too is almost same issue because the nature of my work is sometimes I run calls and calls is 24-hour. That day we had the lectures. I was on call duty till the next day, continue to like around 12 before I get home. I had to rush home and then prepare things and start doing that assignment. So I was rushing, and the day during that day it was that busy. They are very stressed up. So that time I chatted you, I was trying to see how I would do the assignment. And I was able to do just the first part of it and then the second one. I tried getting the sentence for the second one and I was able to get like 1.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, as much as those are very legitimate reasons, okay, I would want us to kindly not go by them, and I'll give you reasons. Now currently there is okay, in the April class, there is a woman who is by far one of the most responsive students in that class. She has a husband who is a surgeon, who is a surgeon. She is a pharmacist. She has 3 children. Okay, and she's a pharmacist. She has 3 children. I mean, she has 5 children, not 3. She has 5 children. Okay, and you know what it is with all of these I've said, and she's by far the most what's it called now? The most responsive. She responds to the class. She responds in the class. She responds outside the class. Our assignments are, you know, as at when due and all of that. So, so if I had not seen situations where people meet up with time, then I might most likely begin to see that, okay, begin to reason alongside with us concerning all of these legitimate reasons. But I've seen people who, what's it called now? How do I put it now? Who meet up these deadlines, okay, without issues, without this. And she's not the only person. There are several other people like that, but she's by far the most responsive in that class. All right, so okay, maybe because of that, we will probably look at sending in your work, maybe 4 p.m. Maybe we should make it 6 p.m. the next day. I mean, the day of our class, maybe an hour before class. Maybe that should be fine. I am bending this rule. Usually, the rule is the rule, and I don't like bending it. But you know, okay. I think I will not have to bend it, because we will still have people who will not be able to meet up 6 p.m. the next day. I mean, on the day of the class. We still have people who will not be able to meet that up. So it still remains. You saw some people, I don't know who it was who chatted me up and said, I'm not done the assignment. Can I submit it like I've not finished, and can I submit it like that? I said, please finish up before you submit. Okay, so okay, much more than the deadline. Much more than the deadline. I think I am more keen on you doing the assignment. So having said that, 6 p.m. the next day to the class still holds, but I just want you to do the assignment. If you can beat the deadline, please beat the deadline. If you can't, you must do the assignment. That is very, very important, and it's very, very instructive. Do my assignments and do it to the best of your ability. It's like, you know, I sometimes when I'm teaching, it's like I'm begging my students to do what will favor them. I could be that nice and I could be that tough. All right, I'm begging my student to do what will favor them. But if you do it, it will be there. You will see it. You will see the results. If you don't, you would also see the results. Okay, so I mean, this is how many years we've been practicing, and we know what student need to do to be able to you know, to pass. You know, so the baby, if you have a baby, I understand. I'm also a father. Okay, but then the baby also should cooperate, so to speak. It's for them much more than it is for us. Okay, so they should cooperate. I also have a couple like that. They come on Sundays. I mean, I have their classes on Sundays. They come to my office on Sundays, and the issue is that they have a toddler who is not even up to a year, maybe 6 months to 8 months. So they just kind of like, let me use the word dump. They dump the boy somewhere with their neighbor, and they are here for 3 hours. You understand? So let's pay the price. It's just for 1 month. Okay, at most, if we would go beyond 1 month, we talk about 6 weeks. Okay, it's just for that duration, you know, at most. So please, I'm begging, do these assignments and take them seriously. 6 p.m. the next day still holds, but more often than, if you wouldn't make if you meet that deadline, my major concern is do the assignment. Please do the assignment. It is very, very important for you to do the assignment. So please, I think that settles that. Okay. I'm not sure I gave those people in the April class that opportunity, but let me just let's just, you know, have it that way. So we'll quickly how do I put it now? we'll quickly review this thing. Now, I'm sure some of us wrote our names and wrote our name in the assignment, and what it means is that we will be reviewing, we take your work, we look at it, we tear it down, we look at it one after the other, and we will, so that we would have a very good, you know, a very good, a very good understanding we learn from other people's work. So, so that's what we're doing right away. Okay, I don't know if there's any other question that we might want to ask aside that. Okay, I think I'm going to be using it. I mean, reviewing the question, reviewing the assignments based on how we submitted, how early we submitted. So. Okay. All right. So in addition to add this a subcategory, now you have 5 subcategories here. There are more than 5 subcategories. So I'm expecting more. So please do more, write more into your work, into your book. Please write more into your book. But that you have this means that you've done something. So you have besides to, also, again, not only, along with, as well as, apart from this, similarly comparable, in the same way, likewise, as with, equally, just as, so too. To sequence, you have to conclude, in conclusion, evidently, to sum up, on the whole, as a result, thus, overall, in essence, in short, briefly, in brief, in the long run, in summary, hence. And so then you have emphasis: indeed, undoubtedly, clearly, absolutely, definitely, importantly, never, never. Okay, it should be noted. All right. Contrast: instead, meanwhile, rather, in spite of, nevertheless. Nevertheless is one word, so no space in between. Nevertheless, one word. Please put that in mind, compared to, whereas, notwithstanding, by comparison. Then, okay, so subordinate clauses: she's a good singer. She is humble. Even though she's a good singer, she's humble. In spite of being a good singer, she's humble. So contrast: after all the same time, but, after all, at the same time, but, on the contrary, differ from, but, again, unlike, while, despite. This your despite does not look familiar at all. And the root.
Yes, sir.
This your despite. Now for your despite. Did you proofread before you submitted? Now, proofreading is a major aspect of your work. Make sure you go over your work, from whether you're writing or whatever you are going to submit. Make sure you go through it. It's one of the skills you need to survive IELTS. You must proofread before you read for errors. You read to edit. Okay, it's part of the things you must do in IELTS. So I think despite is DESPITE. So let's correct that. In contrast to.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Maybe. True. Maybe. Is it maybe true, or
Maybe true.
Maybe true. Okay.
Maybe true. Yes.
Okay. Up against. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Okay. Collocation: break the news to someone, cut the flu, the teacher teaches, and explain before giving assignments. Okay. Active voice: the boy pushed him down. Passive voice: was pushed down by the boy. Okay. Adjective: comparison adjectives: slim, slimmer, slimmest, soft, softer, softest. slow, slower, slowest, smooth, smoother, smoothest, bright, brighter, brightest, the brightest, dirty, dirtier, the dirtiest, fast, faster, fastest, sharp, sharp, sharper, sharpest, beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. So to infinitive, I need you to also pay attention and read up on those ones that cannot be inflected. You know, this thing where you do I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think my system is acting up. But it's all good. As long as you can hear me, no problem. Now, what I'm saying is that you should try as much as possible to read up on these type of essays that gets type of adjectives when they do the superlative and comparative. That I'm saying this to everyone, where they do comparative and superlative, these ones that you would have to put more most before, the ones that cannot be inflected, like you put the ER or the IEST, you know, they cannot be inflected. The inflection cannot take place with them except you put in more or most. So you need to read up and get used to those types so that they don't just, you know, you don't make mistakes when you're doing that. So to infinity to dance was her passion. To drive at night is mostly not safe. To be physically fit, you need regular exercise. To help our patients, we have to teach them about personal hygiene. To start a business, one needs capital. One needs capital. So wide range of structures. I ran for cover when it started raining. I ran for cover when it started raining. All right. You can't run after the rat. Unfortunately, the rat fell inside the hot water. All right. Fell inside. You can't have a hot water because hot water cannot be counted. So you can't put articles. So hot water fell inside hot water. And there is a way we write that makes it look as if we're not writing English. This inside, you can, water does not have inside, like inside a room. So you fall into hot water rather than fall inside. Okay, I hope that is taken. All right.
Yes.
So let's move on. Adams followed James after he discovered he had gone with his ball. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So now I hope you. Okay. Let's follow that through. Susan liked watching movie while Sarah enjoyed playing music, but Sandra only listened to news. Susan liked watching movies while Sandra enjoys playing music, but Sandra only listen to news. Compound complex sentence. Eating faster can cause choking. Running is a form of exercise. Swimming can be fun in a group. Okay, relative clause. I like friends that can encourage me to do what I think is difficult to carry out. I will call you when I'm less busy. I like the place where I slept. I spent my holiday. Okay, was crying profusely. Okay, here comes this. It was crying. You can't have crying underlined. The only place where ing makes sense is or comes in as a vital sign or shows that you are an advanced user of English language when it comes in as the first word. So crying in that sentence is just the ordinary verb that is not a gerund, so it can be underlined. He was crying profusely. Of course, crying profusely. Okay, maybe crying profusely together is what you wanted to underline. Crying profusely at school after being punished by the teacher, although it was not his fault. Rather, he accepted the blame to be with his friends. Okay, this is good. This is good. Being punished after being punished by the teacher. I would prefer that you underline being punished by the teacher because that's passive voice. That's passive voice. Okay, so rather that you underline being punished by the teacher, that's passive voice. So this is good. Traveling a long journey where you are not familiar with. Traveling a long journey to where you are not familiar with. One have to prepare more to be comfortable, especially in choice of what to, okay, especially with regards to the choice, especially with regards to the choice of what to eat. Now, okay, I'm seeing something fundamental here that you have to change. And what I'm saying here is that you basically although I've noticed it, but it's here now, you have to work on yourself such that the words that should come in when you're expressing yourself completely come in. You don't express yourself haphazardly or halfway or incompletely. So you have to be sure that bringing the right words into your expression, because traveling a long journey to where you are not familiar with, one has to prepare more to be comfortable. Please hold on. Please hold on. Sorry. Please hold on. Please stay with me. I think I must have. Okay. Okay. All right. So please hold on. Okay. Come in, please. Please stay with me. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. One more person. I think there's supposed to be someone in this class and he's having issues with the timing. Okay. Please hold on. Okay. All right. So I was saying that there are some things that are noticed fundamentally in your expression, and you need to work on it. Traveling a long journey to where you are not familiar. So let's look at you. You can't use you and then come up to say one. That's not consistent. Stay with one.
Okay.
You are not familiar with, and I prefer one. You don't now take. I want us to take this as the point of instruction. You cannot point at the examiner with your writing. You cannot point at the examiner with your writing. You can't say you to the examiner, or you can't say you in your writing. So you should you should get to that point where the words you're going to be using is not pointing at anyone. At most, you would use a third person singular plural pronoun, which one is very safe. One, not pointing to any person indirect, not pointing to any person in particular. And of course, you can't say he or she because we are just talking about people generally. So one is that third person plural that does not indicate female or male gender, but yet it's talking about people directly generally. And I think one of the beauty of your passive voice is that it helps you to stay away from using personal pronouns. You should try as much as possible not to use personal pronoun if you are not talking about particular people in your essay or in your speech, in your speaking. So, and try to use your passive voice. Traveling on a long journey to a place where one is not familiar with. I'm trying to see whether we can totally take away you or one even. Traveling on a long journey, places that are quite strange. Okay, traveling on a long journey to places that are quite strange. Preparation has to be made. Preparation has to be made to access a higher level of comfortability, especially in the choice of what to eat. I don't know whether you got that. You find out that we stayed away from mentioning he, she, it, him, whatever. This is a level of writing. And that is what I'm expecting that you get to. We stay away totally from using personal pronouns. It helps a lot to show that you are an advanced learner. But if you are an advanced writer, if you are at that point where you must but use personal pronouns, then it shows that you aren't there yet. So let's talk. We talked about the U1 inconsistency, then to prepare more to be comfortable, especially in choice of what to eat. Okay, but I get your underlining. They are they're in order. All right, so you have traveling gerund where relative clause, prepare more, which is comparison, especially that's emphasis, and to eat, but I'd rather prefer what to eat underlined. That's more like a relative clause. To eat too is to infinitive, but this to infinitive does not count except it starts a sentence. All right, so let's move on. Her future is going to be bright. Instead of working hard to accomplish her goal, which is closer, she quite, I didn't see that part. What do you have written in that corner?
Quit.
Okay. No. Before quit, she, is it she after closer?
Yes, closer. Yes, she.
So our future is going to be bright. Instead of working hard to accomplish our goal, which is closer, she quit as a result of pressure. All right, now quit is Q-U-I-T, not with the E. So our future is going to be bright. Going to is collocation, it can be underlined. Future being bright is also collocation because you say bright future, so they go together. Instead of this cohesive device, it's good. We can't take working because it does not start the sentence. So it's not working. Instead of working hard, Well, we can take working hard because that's a collocation, adjective, and verb. I mean, hard, adjective, hard working. Yes, 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 hard working, because working there is sounds more like a hard working. Hard working. Okay, okay. Hard working is here is an adjective. It's an adjective. She's instead of working hard, it's an adjective. If it's hardworking, it's an adjective. But working hard is a adverb stroke and verb. Verb being working, hard being the adverb. All right. So they go together. Working hard go together as collocation. You can accomplish your goal. That's to accomplish a goal. That's collocation also. Which relative clause? That's relative clause starts from there all the way to which is closer, all the way to closer. So then you have closer, which is comparison, and as a result, that's another cohesive device. I think one of the things you need to do, is it Miss or Mrs. now? Miss Ruth. What you need to do is that you need to do a lot of studying of these things, these items that we talked about. You need to do a lot of studying on them and practically learn them. There are some collocations you wrote that you didn't know that they are collocation. You've got to know these things. You've got to know them. Once you see them, you should be able to note them. It is knowing them that will bring about deliberately bringing them into the question. All right. So it is very, very important for you to get these things done. Please learn, read more on the internet. Try to write as many things from the internet as possible that fall under these categories of vital signs, and then and learn them. Okay, so it helps you further. There are some of them you wrote that you didn't even see them. You just saw that they were just typical distance. So you need to read more and learn them. So the knife is sharp, even though it is not chopping the vegetable just as she wants. Meanwhile, she managed it as it is. She managed, because if you're saying, look, it is not, she manages it as it is, because it is not. We are saying it presently, or except it is past tense. So the knife is sharp, even though it's good, even though it's cohesive, cohesive device, yes. Chopping the vegetable, you chop vegetable, okay. Is collocation, just as is cohesive device. She wants. Meanwhile is also cohesive device. She manages it as it is. Okay. So this one just have maybe 1, 2, 3. Yeah, one, even though chopping the vegetable, 2, just as 3. Meanwhile 4. So 1 is missing. Anyway, it's good. The handsome man is limping. Meanwhile, yes,
it's 5.
I said, okay.
Even though.
Yes, even though it's one word. Okay, you underline sharp. The knife is sharp. Okay, sharp knife. I think, okay. But I was going to say that when they go together, like they stand side by side like sharp knife, that's when you can count it. But if it is, in this case, this is what you call the complement of the subject. Complement of the subject is telling us more about the subject. So you find out that they are two in two different areas, two different locations. But if they are together, the sharp knife is, then we can take sharp knife as being something, but we can't take sharp, which is a complement of knife, as being something here. So that's why I'm not picking it. So that handsome man is limping, though he had an accident. Besides, the accident was a major one. In short, he is the only survivor. You just pack all of them inside. Maybe they just full there. That's what you just did here. You just packed everything, make the did. Oh yeah, all of now. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Did here. That's what you did here. Now, if you did this one, if you did it like this in the exam, if you do it like this in the exam, it's going to be against you. Now there's a document called what you are smiling at me or laughing, which one?
Smiling.
There's a document called what's this thing called now? Band descriptor, yes. There's a document called band descriptor in IELTS. It is the material with which they use to mark your band, especially when it comes to speaking and listening. There are no band descriptors for the reading reading and listening. There are no band descriptors for those ones, but there are band descriptors for writing and speaking. Band descriptor tells us what they're expecting